We're back for another episode of One Kick from Glory, joined as always by Craig and Matthew.
What's up?
Been a lot of exciting games this week. Before I get onto the one that I really care about, let's start off with Liverpool versus Manchester United. Before we jump into that, obviously, massive commiserations to Cristiano Ronaldo on the passing of his son. Commiserations to you and your family. Prayers and support and all that. You guys have the time to heal, because losing a loved one's never easy, especially one so young. And you need to take all the time you need to kind of rest and recover from that. Like, honestly, take another week off football. Not saying that because we're playing you guys this weekend. I just think it's for your own personal good. And because we're playing you this weekend, take 2 weeks off. But it's a shame how his team couldn't even show a bit of stomach against Liverpool. They fell over and they said, guys, have a free, run into the house, take what you want. Start with you, Matthew. When you saw the lineup, Manchester United, what did you think?
Doesn't matter. I mean, this is the same team that barely only just got past Norwich. What do you stand in for? A Liverpool team, but put 3 past City on a Saturday, and they just then through to the next round of the Champions League. They're in a FA Cup final. They're chasing down the Premier League. I think it didn't really matter what they did. They could have rolled back the years. It still wasn't going to work. Actually, as speaking as of right now, they got that good news coming through that Ten Hag will be their manager.
Yep.
So it's just a kind of case of just dragging that wounded body all the way to the end of the season and just salvage what they can for what promised so much and has delivered so little. There is, without focusing on the main elephant in the room, with the Maguire situation, they've got a big job on their hands. The fans don't like him. Then you got the situation with Pogba. Then you got the situation with Rashford, which we talked about last week. So many unhappy players there, and and their squad's quite big. They actually got quite a big squad, but it's just like less quality of less quality. So Ten Hag has got a massive job, but that lineup just didn't fill me with any sort of they're not going to show some sort of fight. And unfortunately, from minute 4, I was right. That goal was, those are not, irregardless of the situation that you're in, as professional footballers trained to defend, that can't happen. I mean, I've seen that. I see that in the park. I see that in goals. I can't really talk because I'm going to get on
even in goals though, you would put up more of a fight.
Yeah, I mean, I can't batter their defense too hard because I'm saving that for my club. They're not there. Be ready. So
we're gonna get to that. Don't worry.
We're gonna get to that, but yeah, no hope.
And for you, Craig, I guess we know. I mean, I was joking with you at the time that we wanted 8, so I wanted 8. But Liverpool obviously had a bit more mercy and it stayed with. Was it 2-0 in the end? Or was it 4?
4-0.
Yeah, they were halfway there. But I guess for you, when you look at that first goal that's conceded, Harry Maguire playing a one-man offside trap, didn't tell the rest of his defenders that he pushed into midfield for some bizarre reason. So much space for Salah, for Mane, and for Trent to run into. I mean, what do you do? As obviously for you personally, when the team that you play in, the team that you sort of co-manage, if that happened in one of your games, what would you do? How would you react?
I'll be furious because, obviously, if you're a centre back, you have to call the line. As defenders, you have one player at the back, at the centre back, or as a leader at the back. You'll say, "No, everyone push up." And if you don't push up on time, then they score, and you, the last man, left them untied. Then you'll be very upset. Normally I play centre mid, or I play centre back sometimes for my team. Normally, if I'm watching it, I always watch the line. Or sometimes, if I have to make a last ditch tackle, I'll make a last ditch tackle. So you have to make sure you push up and push up the whole defence. Maguire was not talking to, I think Phil Jones at the back.
Phil Jones, yeah.
And Phil Jones hasn't played for a long time. It was Phil Jones, I think they played 5 at the back against Liverpool. It was Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, Phil Jones, Lindelof, and Maguire at the back. And all 5 of them were telling me they couldn't see that Liverpool were gonna. I said to Clive, as soon as they were going, I said goal. As soon as I saw the ball come to Salah and I saw Luis Diaz running, I said goal. I said it instantly. I knew it was going to happen. What even happened? Because I knew Liverpool were very I think Liverpool, Man City are the best when it comes to counter-attacking.
So quick.
They can come from their defense and they can go onto the other goal in like seconds.
But they're decisive.
And
That's the
they're
thing.
clinical,
As soon they commit, you, and 9 times out of 10 in that situation, you know it's only going to end up in one place. Even if it might not even hit the target or the goalkeeper saves it, it's only going in one direction. There's no like hesitation whatsoever.
And one thing with Liverpool as well, their recovery runs as well. Like if they lose the ball, you see all their front three are tracking back. If you look at, for example, PSG, when they lose the ball, they don't track back. Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, they don't track back. They leave the other players to track back. Even United, when United lost the ball, you don't see Rashford, you don't see all their players tracking back or anyone tracking back. So it goes to show that if the new manager comes in, Ten Hag, when he comes in, he's got a lot of work. He's got a massive job. And I think what I'll say to United fans as well, that I think you guys should give him time. If it doesn't work out, if you don't win any trophy, it doesn't get top 4 next season, just call it a transitional season, because you get rid of so many players. Like Pogba's gonna go, Mata's going, Matic is going. A lot of players are going to be gone in the summer, so they're gonna need a massive rebuild. So, and I don't think they're gonna challenge for honours. I said 5 years. You guys laughed at me. Well, I think 5 years is fair.
Marcus says it won't change until Pep or Jurgen leave, and we have no idea when they're leaving. So it could be longer than 5 years. 5 years might be like a nice estimate.
Because them two managers are not getting fired. They're not getting fired.
I personally thought Pep's not going to leave Man City until he wins the Champions League. Maybe 1 or 2 Champions League, then he will leave.
Big oops.
I think he wants. That's the trophy. That's what they employed him for, to win the Champions League. They already won the leagues long time ago with Mancini and the other guy Pellegrini. So they don't want the Premier League anymore. They want the Champions League.
They're 2 games away. 2 games away from another final.
So I don't know. I feel like Man United got a massive rebuild to do, and all the best to Ten Hag. You know, some players like Rashford might not be there next season. Maybe he might be there, he might not be there. But if he is there, then I think Ten Hag will put his arm around him and get the best out of him. Hopefully,
he's good with like young players.
He's good with young players. Ajax has got that young guy, Gravenbach and Timber and all them young players at Ajax, and Anthony as well, the Brazilian winger. So he'll get the best out of players if given the time, because I know when a new manager comes to the league, like obviously when Mourinho first came to the league, he will hit off straight away. So some managers come to the league, they hit off straight away. Some of them might take them 6 months to get. But as long as they give him time, then see what happens.
Yeah, I think time is going to be the big metric. They'll need to give him time. He'll need to get in the players that will fit the style that he wants to play, which is that's the key thing. They need to bring in the right personnel to kind of fit what he wants. But then more importantly of all, I think the fans need to also have realistic expectations as well, because the glory days are gone. It ain't Fergie days anymore. So they're going to have to really adjust to the realities of what they're going to face. It's not going to be easy. I mean, this game shows how far behind they are. I mean, Ronaldo, you know, for all the incompatibilities that he's brought with his return to their team this past summer, he has still been like the get out of jail free card. I mean, the previous game, bang the hat trick, get him 3 points. He missed this one. I mean, I'm glad he wasn't there, because I don't know how he would have taken playing on that pitch. I mean, I feel for Sir Alex Ferguson. You know, he made it his ambition as manager of Manchester United to put them ahead of Liverpool on overall trophies won. And in the years since he's been retired, Jurgen Klopp could close that. They could actually get back on top again this season if they win the quadruple.
Could you imagine
how annoying that is?
Could you imagine
Ferguson spent so many years catching up and exceeding them, for them to throw it away.
But I feel like, and the maddest thing is, like, Liverpool got 19 Premier League titles, Man United got 20. So if Liverpool win the league this season, it'd be 20-all. And so
it is.
There we go.
Serious business.
Well, they got 19 league titles. They weren't all
19, yeah.
Or 19 league titles, but still
one Premier League.
One Premier League away from equaling it.
They've only got the one Premier League. They need to remember that.
we still got 3.
Yeah, you guys only have 1. You did a great team though, but you only got 1, so you need to catch up. But yeah, I think it's interesting what will happen now with Ten Hag. I think he's definitely going to bring in an exciting style of football. He might give Donny van der Beek a career at Man United now. He might revitalize Rashford. We're just gonna have to wait and see how that plays out. I think the big thing they need to sort out is their defense personally, and midfield.
And midfield,
So I think Big Head Maguire needs to be set free. Obviously, there's some really disturbing news that came out today about an alleged bomb threat sent to his house, and the police came along to sweep the place. I mean, that's unnecessary.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like, I know he's a trash defender. I know he's frustrating. I know he's got a blockhead. I know all these things you can say about him. I know he feels like he's playing against you. But there's a line people shouldn't cross. I think that's the line they crossed there.
And he's got a young family as well. That's where you have to say, no, what? You can abuse players.
Even putting the family to one side, I think that there's a line at which you should never cross. And when you're threatening physical harm on someone because of your perceived frustration with them in your club, that's one step too far.
No, 100%.
Criticize him, mock him, all that kind of stuff. There's just a line that you don't cross when it comes to like what you classify as like, you know, bantery abuse. That's not banter anymore. That's just violence, and that's just not acceptable.
We need to kick that out of our game because it happens a lot. It happens a lot when players get frustrated, when fans get frustrated with players and they go extreme. That's when the line. That's when the line has to be drawn straight away.
Might need to step back from football just a little bit if it gets that bad.
Yeah, that person should. I mean, step back. They should be banned from. Oh, they should be in prison. But we'll see what happens to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Liverpool looking sharp. As you said, Craig, you think they're in the driving seat for the title. I was a bit concerned yesterday not concerned, but I was kind of intrigued when Man City was struggling to break the deadlock against Brighton. They got 3-0 in the end because this is what they do. But it looks like it's gonna just drag on now.
I thought it was gonna be a turn. I thought City are gonna drop points because one of the team. I think they got to play Newcastle again. They got to play somebody. There's one game I think that they might struggle against, and I think that's where the title can be won or lost.
Plus, I mean, I know it's not much of a thing, but you do have the Merseyside derby. I think it's this weekend.
Yeah, but that's 3 points. They are.
No, but Lampard.
Wait, is that Everton or is that Liverpool?
It doesn't matter where it is. It's 3 points regardless.
Is it Anfield or is it? Oh no, I think it's at Everton's ground. I think it's at Goodison Park.
I actually don't know.
I think it's at Goodison
Weird
Park.
because Everton actually started off quite well this season. I mean, this all went horribly wrong.
Too many injuries. The manager.
It's 2 quality managers. Yeah, Ancelotti last year. I think maybe Ancelotti saw something that we didn't know.
Well, Ancelotti can't manage with rubbish, so you know he tried, but at the end of the day,
he has a standard.
There's only so much you can do. You can't make rubbish good, and they are rubbish. So let's see, Sunday it's at Anfield.
Anfield. That's 3
points.
But you know Lampard. You know, like Liverpool fans don't really like Lampard, didn't it? Because of the whole Chelsea thing, innit? So. I think Lampard would like to put one off over them, innit? So
isn't like it had beef with Klopp like a couple of years ago as well. So it gives that extra bit of
But I don't know. Everton's a funny team. The other day they beat Man United. The other day, and then you look at it and you're thinking, you can beat Man United this week and you lose to a rubbish team the next week. Like, where's the consistency?
They got beat by Leicester yesterday.
No, they won 1-1.
Is it 1-1?
Yeah, Richarlison scored in the last kick of the game. Last kick of the game he scored. When I mean last kick, Matthew, the last kick of the game. It was 92 minutes and the referee was just about to blow and then the ball came in the box and he just, you know them scuffed. You know when you scuff a shot and he deflects off a player? He scuffed it, hit the player off his leg and it went in the net. So that's how fortunate United were. I mean, not Man United, Everton was, sorry.
Talk about godsend, mate.
Well, moving on from one team that happens to disappoint their fans all the time to 2 teams that are very Jekyll and Hyde. They give you lots of highs and lots of lows. Arsenal, Chelsea, a game at the Battle of the Bridge yesterday. It was a. I'm gonna come to you, Matthew. I know I can see you're seething over there. You're seething. But I'll start with you, Craig. Obviously, you were working at the Bridge yesterday.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the pre-game atmosphere. I mean, I know that there was a lot of Arsenal chants in the ground, and hearing from some fans that were there, they were saying that how atmosphere-wise, you could just hear Arsenal fans singing throughout the whole game, and Chelsea fans were quite quiet. But what was it like for you, like going into the ground and then just being there throughout the game?
Well, it wasn't. To be honest with you, when I came into work yesterday, I was going to the game. Like, they said it was only like 25% of Chelsea fans were going to be there. Wow. There wasn't a lot of people there because when I was
some empty seats on the
TV.
TV.
Loads of empty seats. And only when Arsenal scored, because I was watching the game a little bit, and when Arsenal scored, all I could hear was Arsenal fans. I couldn't hear no Chelsea. When Chelsea fans, I could hear them roaring when they scored. But every time I heard a little small roar for Arsenal scored again, I could hear it, and I was like, "Wow!" I'm thinking.
Talk about role reversal.
Yeah, I mean the Arsenal fans were saying it's just like the old days.
Just like the old days.
There's nobody here.
The Arsenal fans were going in on the Chelsea fans. I'm telling you, they were going in like. But I left work just before the end of the game anyway because after half time we get to go home. So after the saw that we left, I'm telling you, man, I'm so happy I left at that time. I don't want to get stuck with the Chelsea fans on the train going home because they were. Whenever Chelsea lose a game, their fans are not happy. No. They were not happy at all.
No kidding.
All right, let's head over to our resident Chelsea fan. Let's start off with the lineup because, okay, me personally, when I tuned in, I don't know why I joined the game late. So when I turned the TV on to watch the game, we were Arsenal 1-0 up. I was like, oh, happy days. This is good. But let's go back to before all of that. When you saw the lineup, Matthew, when you saw the Chelsea 11, what did you think? What were your feelings and like, how did you feel with that information going into the game?
I was playing Xbox at the time, just before I was going to start the game. I looked for the lineup, I played Xbox again.
No Xbox before Chelsea, yeah?
I literally paused the game, look at the lineup.
So is Rudiger injured or he was just left out?
I don't know.
Because I don't. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't understand why Thiago Silva was left out. I don't get it.
I would have started him.
I don't understand why Malang Sarr started because he
don't
just
say that name to
anyway.
Me. Don't say that name.
And then as for Andreas Barcelona Christensen, I don't get why he's even on the pitch.
The AC Penitentiary is closed for business. Where was that from last year? Now, you know what the funny thing was? It's a carbon copy of last year when we played you guys at the bridge. It was a comedy of errors that got you the goal, and then you sat back and you won. And they look at it again thinking, I know, let's do it again 4 more times because we think we can get away with it. I mean, I looked at the lineup. I'm not going to lie. I had literally, not to say I haven't had any confidence, but I wasn't happy. Especially on seeing like there's Sarr there's Christians and they're thinking, wait, hang on. Kovacic came off injured, not Rudiger. So where is he? And I don't think Silva even played. So why is Silva not starting? Why is he not starting again? We always talked about Kante from when he had the Real Madrid blip, and yesterday was probably one of his worst games I've seen witnessed live. One of his worst. I mean, and then up front, why is Lukaku starting? Why? I mean, in that first half, it was a chore to watch before we even get to the second half. Timo Werner was the only one trying to make something happen. But what it shows that the 2 goals that we got, what happened when we got those goals? We were direct. Timo Werner was direct. When we even get worked up to Aspilicueta goal, we direct. Every time, I think we talked about this before, and I mentioned it last year, there are 6 gears. We get to 5. But we don't shift to that 6. This, I think we talked about this. I think Marcus mentioned it last week. But the gap between like Liverpool, City, and then the rest, that's that key ingredient. Liverpool will shift to that 6th gear, no problem, all the time. They know they got the confidence, they got the bravado. City will do the same as well. They will shake. They do get there in different ways, but they get there. We get to 5th, and it's like we stumble along the way, and we did that far too many times. Credit to you guys, you wanted it. You smelt blood from a very early on, and you every time you went to the goal, it was dangerous. And that's what bugs me. So, I mean, do you like burgers? Do you guys like burgers?
I like burgers, yeah.
Do you like them sloppy?
No.
I don't like my burgers like I like my football. Sloppy. That's one thing that's concerned me more. The second balls, no one's going for the second ball. I see Arsenal going players going for the second ball. We're not going for them. But it's like we're waiting for something to happen. And by the time they've already decided, someone like Xhaka Holding, we made them look like Puyol and Xavi. Can you make sense of that?
Listen, when I saw Xhaka nutmeg. Now, when I saw Xhaka dribbling in the box, he nutmegged Lukaku. And he nutmegged Alonso.
And then
that's when I knew. And then led to Smith Rowe's goal. That's when I knew. Look, this is a joke.
How did it get there? Is this some kind of sick joke? I mean, is this something? I mean, I could take a joke. That's a person, but seriously, and then he got Rob Holding rolling back the ears and getting cramped defending against women goals. That it didn't need to happen. I'm taking them nothing away from you guys. No, I've had enough abuse, and I was like, this one, fine, take it. We were crap. We were terrible. We were awful. But I'm just thinking, why? After we've had 3 good performances after 2 really poor ones. All right, Real Madrid knocked us out, but I think we showed a good fight. So put 6 past Southampton. We had a professional result against Palace to get to FA Cup final. What made today so different? I mean, I didn't think it was going to be easy, but I didn't think we were going to lose this badly. I mean, and Eddie, who hasn't scored all year, and he gets 2.
He had a point. He had a point to prove. He's an ex-Chelsea guy, isn't it?
Yeah. The only thing. On my iPad bought a brunt. I showed you what happened to my iPad.
Yeah, it dropped.
It dropped.
It dropped. Yeah.
Actually, I punched it and I stamped on it because that was goal number 3. That was goal number 3. I was absolutely fuming. I was saying words I didn't even know existed in the English language. Maybe even in another language. Can you tell guys that I was not happy from that result? Yeah. And then the penalty. I mean, after that, I said, if this go, I don't get. I didn't even stay to watch the end of the game. I was like, no, I'm off. My Xbox is way more fun.
I mean, I think when I look at the obviously that's a lot to get through. But when I look at the lineup that Arteta went with, I think it took a lot of bravery to do what he did. It was very smart and very subtle. So we flitted between a back 5 and a back 4. He used Ben White in a way that he would have used Tomiyasu, which gave Tavares the license to be a lot more adventurous going forward. So defensively he's not the best. And then also the other thing which was very important with that is going back to the 2. So our formation was a 5-2-3-1. Yeah. 4-2-3-1, depending on what the phase of play was. So having Xhaka and Elneny at the base, and I have to say to Elneny, I mean, both of them amazing performances, but Elneny, he wasn't just playing the ball really well; he was playing it forward. I can count the number of passes, and he doesn't normally do that. I was just so impressed. He was when he got the ball, he would punch it into people's feet, and he just played a really good game. He wasn't the usual timid Elneny. It was man Elneny, the Pharaoh. So I mean, the fasting is probably going well for him.
He hasn't played for a long time either.
And he hasn't played for a long time. So to come into a game like this and do the job, ultimately that's what we want from him. Just do that. And if anything, he should start the rest of our games the rest of the season. But yeah, the lineup was very interesting. Eddie did an interview this week with the Beautiful Game podcast, I think that's what it's called. And he talked a lot about his frustrations with his lack of opportunities in the team and just in general, he's kind of like his journey from Chelsea to Arsenal and just how he's had many setbacks in his career so far. But he made a very good point. He says he can't name any time in his Arsenal career when he's had a run of games, he's had a run of 3 or 4 games to play. Because people saying that he's not good enough. It's like he's never been given the opportunity. This is the second start in a row. He scores 2 goals.
2 goals.
So it just goes to show, he's just showing you, if you give him an opportunity to play, he can do something. And I think, again, he's another player that should play the rest of our games of the season. And he lacks a second half of the bench and give us something different. But I think he should stay there. And then come summertime, they can all talk and see what's best for him. But because ultimately he came through at the same time as Mason Mount. He was part of that generation of Chelsea youth players. Yeah, he's from that generation. Mount, Abraham, them guys. So obviously when you look around, Declan Rice is the name I was forgetting. So you look around and seeing these guys, how many games they've played at the same age, and he has not. He only had about 30 starts in 5 years for Arsenal.
That's embarrassing.
That's correct.
That's embarrassing.
When you were promised so much, because he had opportunities to leave and he wasn't given the opportunities to play, it's not fair. So I'm glad that he now has the opportunity to show what he's worth. And if he means that he leaves us and gets a better club for his career, so be it. But yeah, I think Arteta got that really, really well. And I was really impressed with how the team kind of played. I guess for you, Craig, when you as the game was developing, what did you think about the young G's, Saka and Smith Rowe? And I'll give Ødegaard as like the eldest of those 3. How are those 3 performed in particular in this game?
They performed superbly. They brought the fight. They had the hunger. They had the desire. They were showing season. They were putting Seasons Pro on their backs. Like the way how Saka got the penalty. Like, to be honest with you, the defending was very poor.
Terrible.
From an experienced defender of Asamoah who's won Champions League, Europa Leagues, FA Cups, Premier League titles, League Cups, FA, all them trophies. The way how he just crumbled against Saka. And one thing I read about Saka as well, he missed a penalty in the Euro final, remember this, and he was very heartbroken after missing that penalty. He took the ball and he took the penalty and he scored.
Yeah, because he wasn't assigned to the penalty. The
penalty was supposed to be Martinelli.
Yeah. He took the ball off him, so I'm having this. I want it.
And Martinelli didn't complain. One respect for Martinelli, he didn't complain or argue with him. That's the respect Saka has in the dressing room. He had that same respect like how back in the day Thierry Henry or Dennis Bergkamp or Ian Wright or someone like that had that respect from his teammates. Like, you know what? I want to take this one.
I've got it.
And the team, no one was grumbling or saying, no, you have to give it to... Like, I thought Ødegaard was going to say, no, give it to Martinelli. He didn't do that. Saka's the main man at Arsenal. Saka, Smith Rowe, Ødegaard. And I feel that if we can build... They're the core players. Like, if we can build the squad around them players and get a good striker in the summer, and hopefully you can keep Eddie, because Eddie looks like he can score goals.
Yeah, I think like I said with Eddie, I think he just needs to let's give him a run of game.
Yeah, see what happens.
Season and see what he does. I don't know if he's at the level. It's hard to say because he hasn't played enough football to develop. The sad reality is that every time he's played in the cup games, he's gotten goals. You know, he scored every round for us in the Carabao Cup.
I think he's the top scorer in the Carabao Cup.
So he shows that he's got that in him.
He can do it,
but he was never given a consistent run. And hearing Arteta say that he loves Eddie and he shows what he can do. It's like you're saying all this, but you didn't never pick him. You don't pick him. So how can you be saying that he has all these qualities? He's a great striker, all this kind of stuff. You don't play him.
I think personally, every time he came off the bench this season, especially like in the games that we lost recently, the last 3 games, he had an impact.
Yeah.
And I feel that Lacazette should have been dropped early. One thing, I don't want to be critical of Arteta
Be critical.
Go on.
Okay. One thing I don't like about Arsenal sometimes, when we're losing a game, he takes too long to make changes. And it really frustrates me. Like you see like a Pep Guardiola or maybe
you can't use Guardiola as an example. He's really bad at substitutions. He's really bad. The other day, he didn't even one of the games they drew. He didn't even make a sub.
I think it's Crystal Palace.
Yeah, he didn't even make a sub.
I think Klopp's the kind of manager. If he knows it's not working at half time, he'll make a change. So Alex Ferguson, when he's manager, if it's not working at half time, he makes a change. Arteta takes too long to make changes in games where we're losing.
But I will say this though: the game against Chelsea, he got every sub, the timing spot on.
Yeah, that was
the only change I would have made earlier. I would have brought on Pepe for Saka, but then that would have meant Saka. The penalty wouldn't have gone to Saka.
Yeah,
that's the only change I would have made because I think by the 82nd minute, I think Saka was gassed.
Yeah.
He was blowing. You could see he was limping a little bit as well. Like he didn't have it, but yeah, he's still banging the penalty. So.
But there's one question I'd like to ask Matthew as a Chelsea fan, as a Chelsea fan. Like, what do you think of Kante's performances recently? Do you think he's finished now, or do you think his game his value is going down? Or is he regressing as a player, or you feel he's just having one of them bad moments at the moment? What do you feel about him? Like,
I don't like making this an excuse, but it's true. I think it could possibly be the fact that he's tired. I mean, he was fasting, wasn't he?
Oh yeah,
It could be that, but even without that, like the quality of football. For me, the last properly good performance, like the Kante-esque performance he's had, was that Champions League run. That was probably the best he's had. I don't know if he's massively essential to Tuchel's plan. We got to move on from him, to be fair. And yesterday kind of shows that I hate talking away about the guy because he's been an excellent servant to not just Chelsea but to football and just what he's given and
what he's won as well.
What he's won and his rise to prominence, his World Cup win, all the stuff like that. But it was painful watching someone that we love so much go through all of that and just a classic comedy of errors. This is like, great assist to Eddie, by the way, but I don't know if it was Sarr or him or
it was Christensen. I think.
Yeah, it was twist down. So it's
I think one of them. No, the first goal was Christensen when he
Christensen thought, oh yeah, he used to play for Chelsea. Wait a minute, why is he wearing red? That's what that was.
Yeah. So do you feel like in the summer, Chelsea need to buy a new midfielder to replace Kante?
I think they got Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher can come back.
I don't know if it's a case of even buying because first of all, I don't know if we're even be positioned in it if this sanction's still in place. So we still haven't got a new owner yet. So we might be a case of utilising what we got, which we proved before wasn't a bad thing. Definitely. No, we didn't exactly challenge for a title, but we challenged for the top four. We got to the FA Cup final and we secured top 4. I mean, and the good football was good. It just shows.
Be careful when you turn your head. I lose you. I can't hear you.
Sorry. So the football was good, and there was kind of a good feel around it where we're using young players combined with the experience. I'm all for that because I think this time round the players that we already have, I think, are already of really, really top quality. Plus, we're still waiting for players to come back from injury and stuff. I just think chalk down to last night. Had he started with just start with Havertz. Just start with him. He is your man. And where was Rudiger? I read up all different kind of sources thinking, where is this guy? He's not even on the bench.
Is he leaving Chelsea in the summer? Is that a contract?
Well, as of today, when I was looking at my phone, they were negotiating with Rudiger. Players like Rudiger do not come around very often,
and you can't. And if you want to win titles again, you can't get rid of him.
I honestly don't think if Rudiger was on that pitch, I don't know. I'm not saying he wouldn't have scored, but that performance would not have gone down.
No, Rudiger off when Rudiger's a very good defender.
Rudiger,
he's no nonsense.
Listen, there's one time that proved that this guy's got cojones, right? Man City 6-0. The only guy to go up to the fans after a 6-0 drumming, and we tried. Yeah, we did. It didn't work. Whatever. He's one of those kind of players who will he will talk. And I reckon at halftime he would have said something to these players and be like, no, not happening, not good enough. So it's a mystery to see why he wasn't there.
But before that, but talking about going up to the fans, obviously we had UFC Liketa, Aspie the Great, who had gotten a bit of a tiff with the fans at the end of the game. Like, what was that all about?
I didn't watch that bit because I went upstairs, mate.
It was a bit embarrassing. It was a bit like literally he was proper squaring up to one fan, and then the guy's like, "No, thumbs up, we're good." He's still mouthing off to the guy.
He's frustrated.
He turns his back. The guy's like, "No, we're good." And he's carrying. I'm just like, "What's going on?"
I mark it down to one of those things where he just had a really bad day because he did have a bad day. Yes, he scored, but he had a bad day. Saka had him for like full English breakfast. Put him down for the penalty, and after he scored the penalty, you saw his face where he was like,
furious.
He realised he was furious, but also the look of someone where his contract's running out. He's the wrong side of like, well, not saying the wrong side of. He's wrong side of like a 34 footballer. He's been at Chelsea for a very long time. We're always going to love him. We're always going to respect him. He's been a great leader, taking on that big hole from other leaders in the past, and I think he's done really, really well. But you've also got to know when your time is coming. I don't think we're negotiating that contract.
What about Thiago Silva? Is he going to get another contract or is he going to retire, you think?
He can still got it. I don't know why we didn't start with him. I don't know, but it's just a case of who's going to take what defender will kind of take that place. Because even Christensen, his contract's up in the air.
So
he's
gone to Barcelona. It's already agreed to do Barcelona.
He's already kind of thinking. So maybe he's like, well, whatever.
If Aston Villa goes in the summer, who would be Chelsea's next captain? Who would you want to be Chelsea's next captain?
That is a good question.
I'll say I think maybe Mason Mount or maybe Reece James. I think Reece James got good leadership qualities.
Captain.
Or maybe Rudiger if he stays.
I'll give it if he stays.
Yeah, I'll give it to Rudiger.
If he stays.
Rudiger, Reece James, or Mount, because Mount is the future of Chelsea,
Mason
isn't it?
Mount should not be Chelsea captain. I'm sorry.
Let me think. Captain. That's a good question. You know, that is a good question
He's not
because
captain. You should buy Declan Rice to give it to him.
Can you afford Declan Rice though?
He ain't going
nowhere.
nowhere.
Do something. We got to get someone to fill that out. That is actually a good question. Jorginho's been captain a couple of times.
He might be out the door. He might be out the door in the summer. I'm hearing that they're not going to extend his contract. Apparently, he's been linked with Lazio and another team in Italy. I can't see you get rid of him and get rid of.
No, we won't. I can see him being captain. I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
Difficult one because we've gone from a time where we had captains in every single position on our team.
Yeah. If John Terry was injured, Lampard. If Lampard injured, Peter Cech. If Peter Cech was injured, Drogba. You don't have them leaders anymore. Mikel
Cole.
Yeah.
We had leaders in every position. We were blessed. But times have changed. I don't know. Good question. I'll see what I'll come up with.
Yeah, that's a good question to ask.
I'll ponder. Yeah.
That's a good question, isn't it? Like,
who would be the right person to be next captain? There's not really many options right now.
There really isn't.
I mean, N'Golo Kante probably would be a good shout, but he's
down to experience. Yeah. But do you see him as a person who's going to?
He's not really a shouter. He's more like he leads by example. He's not really a shouter.
It's not even so much about kind of. It's almost like a mark of respect.
Yeah,
because you know that when you come into this team,
but this is ultimately this is assuming that Azpilicueta has gone in the summer though, because he's still there. And probably will still be there.
He might give him a 1 year deal or something. But
his contract's not up though, is it?
It is up in the summer.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're losing three. When we first found out about the sanction, 3 defenders were on the way out. That was him, Rudiger, and Christensen.
Well, 2 of that 3 are gone.
2 of that, yeah.
Because Rudiger, I think, signed a pre-contract as well.
They're negotiating right now.
Or is he still negotiating?
They're negotiating as we speak.
I think with another club.
But I think
here with Chelsea.
But I think he has options. I think he's looking to explore an option to go abroad.
So why has he not been offered the contract before? Because I think that was an issue. What happened?
I think it was something over a dispute of pay, because it was coming up really, really fast. I think this was a problem from last year. Plus, let's not forget he fell out of favour with Lampard. He did fall out of favour with Lampard.
He didn't play under Lampard.
He didn't play under Lampard.
Lampard dropped him a lot.
Tuchel comes in and recognises that this guy is a gem. He's a diamond. He's one of those kind of like he's a luxury. He's an absolute luxury because he leaves it on the pitch. He's a dog and he's tenacious. I can pick a handful of times where even unrelated to football, like last year when we lost the FA Cup final to Leicester, we played them a few days later. Who was on that score sheet? Rudiger. And you saw in his face, it's like he was mad, he was angry. Like it's like almost like an apology to the fans. I guarantee, like, that was if Rudiger's in that playing the next game West Ham,
so what happened?
We're getting an apology.
Why did Lampard not play Rudiger because I thought Rudiger was before when he was at the manager. That's what kind of cost him his job. In
I think it was one of those things where he's trying to also give young players a chance, because he also had a young defender in Tomori who had a really good year at Derby. Of course, that didn't work because he didn't play that much either, because he didn't went off to AC Milan. But I just think it was a case of where he was just mostly down to, and plus our defensive options at the time were quite limited.
I mean, if we're being honest, Mark Gay and Fikayo Tomori are 10 times the player that Malang Sarr is, and even I'd argue Christensen.
Oh,
and you let go both of them as well. Even Tammy Abraham as well. Some big one with Tammy Abraham. I thought that he's a Chelsea guy through and through, academy player.
We can still
he was scoring loads of goals for you lot in the team.
You guys swapped Tammy for Fat Albert.
We can still get him back.
What were you thinking?
We can still get him back.
Yeah,
but then you're gonna
get rid of Fat Albert.
But you don't got. You have got a buyback clause in the contract to buy him back. But
65 mil. But other clubs
that doesn't come in until next season, end of this season, the following season you can get it, not the season.
But I'm not gonna lie, that Malang Sarr I didn't even know about until he started playing. Thinking, who's his brother? I'm like, we purchased him.
You got him on a free transfer from France.
I don't know why. Now I know why.
Send him back.
Malang Sarr, no offense, mate, but like yesterday,
why didn't you start Trevor Chalobah? He's a better defender than Malang Sarr.
He is a better defender.
He was doing well to start the season, scoring goals. Then all of a sudden, I think he had one bad game and
and he had an injury. Yes.
Listen, sometimes managers make mistakes. I don't know, Tuchel, maybe he thought I'd be trying to be clever and outthink Arteta, and he just got it wrong.
It didn't work. Just play your best.
Tuchel's only beaten us once. Just as his manager at Chelsea.
Yes. He's only had he's had 3 games.
4.
No, 3. Because the last season at the Bridge.
Yeah, beat you.
Emirates.
You beat us at the Emirates.
Beat us at Emirates. Yeah, it's 3.
Okay.
Yeah, because the FA Cup was Frank.
Oh yeah. I can think
FA Cup was
yeah.
Yeah, it was
When
Frank.
Aubameyang was on fire.
But you know what that means though? When now you've beaten us this year,
Yeah.
it just means we're going to something bigger next year.
That always happens.
When you beat us, we go on something big.
And you get always invest in new players.
Yeah, I mean, relegation is something big, so.
But next season will be different. If you don't get owners in, we'll see what happens. If you
there was even news out today that apparently Serena Williams and Sir Lewis Hamilton are putting £10 million each.
That will be
as part of a consortium bid for Chelsea.
That would be
ironic. An Arsenal fan buying Chelsea.
That's what I'm saying. That's weird.
I don't get it, but it is what it is, isn't it? If you wanna, it's an investment opportunity. It's a good investment.
Well, mate, they're both top athletes at the top of their game. They've got to do something in their retirement twilight years.
Why didn't you bid for Arsenal?
We ain't for sale.
Kroenke ain't letting you guys go.
We're not getting sold anytime soon.
Kroenke is delivering. I mean,
we're stuck.
Even Arteta ain't going no time soon because he's doing exactly what you want. As far as Kroenke goes, in his mind, he's got the perfect machine. And of course, the whole.
I mean, that's the reality. If we had lost the game on, yesterday against Chelsea, would anything happen to Arteta? Probably not.
No.
They trust the process.
It's going to take something. It's going to take.
If we'd got on battered, I don't think it would have made a difference. I think it would have been fair enough. But
I had a feeling that we were going to win yesterday. I said, you know what, we lost 3 games in a row. I even said to myself, you know what, I bet we're going to turn up against Chelsea. I don't know. I had that feeling. I said, you know what, we lost 3 games we should have won on paper. Not in reality. It didn't happen.
The game you should have lost, you won.
Yeah, but the Southampton game, if we when you pick it apart, we created enough chances to have won that game, but for
Fraser Forster.
I'd say this, but for poor finishing and Fraser Forster, because at the end of the day, we have a habit of making him look good, and it's because we just don't shoot properly. It's poor shooting, ultimately.
Like the Saka chance. No one Nketiah went through, and he played the ball out wide, and someone played the ball. I think it was Martinelli. He played the ball across. The one where Saka should have buried it.
Yeah, but it was on his right foot.
If he could have just tapped it to the left.
But on another day, that's scoring. But Fraser, he's having the right place.
Yeah, because he had a similar chance yesterday against Chelsea, and he could have hit it with his right, but he took it cross onto his left foot, and by that point in time, I think you got players back to block the shot. So I was like,
I think if Saka works on his right foot, left foot, right foot. Oh my gosh.
But I'm really happy with what the boys did. They did what needed to be done. Obviously for Chelsea, you've got the FA Cup final to look forward to against Liverpool. You got to be ones to stop them pushing towards the because I mean, let's be honest. If they get to the Champions League final, they might win the quadruple.
If they get to the Champions League final, even if it's against Real Madrid, I'm still probably going to say they can do it. If it's Man City, definitely.
But no. Do you know? This is what I would. I think for narrative reasons, I would love it. Liverpool pip City to the league last game of the season because City draw and Liverpool win. They play each other in Champions League final.
Mm.
I'd love that.
That
I'd
would
love
be-
that.
I would love that. As
I
well.
would love because it will be blood and thunder on that pitch. Blood and thunder.
so-
oh man.
Would you want them to get a quadruple?
No, but I just for the narrative, I would love them to have. I would love that. Although to be fair, has City won a quadruple? No. Has anyone won a quadruple?
No.
No.
The last team to win a treble was Liverpool.
Domestic, the Premier League, Champions League, and
the
FA
one
Cup.
the Europa League.
Oh yeah,
Europa
League
League,
Cup, and
League
FA
Cup,
Cup.
FA Cup, Europa League.
2001.
Yeah, that was the last time City won a treble.
Did Mourinho win one?
No.
With Inter Milan.
He won a double with Chelsea.
He won the double.
And then he won the fraud treble with Man United.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because he won the Premier League and Carabao Cup in the first season. Then he won the Premier League. Then he did the domestic double with the League Cup and the FA Cup.
Talking of Mourinho.
No one, few teams, because they said that Chelsea back in the day could have done it, City could have done it, and now Liverpool. But Liverpool kind of came from under the radar, and it's like snuck up and be like, hang on.
That is true. I didn't know.
No one's ever saw it.
Because they were
coming.
pushing for this the season they won the league. They were pushing for this.
Yeah.
Last season was a write-off because Van Dijk was Van Dijk's
They had loads of
Van
injuries.
Dijk was not available.
Yeah.
But I think, let's see what they do. You're going to say about Jose?
Yeah, what do you guys think of his career? So, I think he's got the first part of his managerial career was excellent, and now towards this time of his career, it's a bit.
I mean, football changes.
As
a manager, you have to adapt your methods to the newer way of the new. It's not even so much that football, the game itself has changed. It's not even about the game itself because tactics, things go around in cycles. So 4-4-2 will come back in vogue again because just the way how teams are set up with the 4-2-3-1, all that kind of stuff. You're gonna want to have two banks of four and two up top, or one off is going to become the next big thing.
Yeah,
it's not that. The issue is the people and the personalities. People are way too sensitive these days. And Mourinho's way of managing the mind games, the let's call it what it is, emotional manipulation to get the best out of people. It doesn't run. Football players are too sensitive.
Way too.
For managers like Sir Alex Ferguson, won't really survive in this day and era.
No, Sir Alex Ferguson as he showed throughout his career, he adapted.
He was
Jose
adaptable.
has a method that is his method. He's not.
He's
adaptable.
my way over highway.
Yeah. And
He
it works.
listens to-
If Mourinho could have 11 Ibrahimovic's, he'd be happy. He'd win every title every season wherever he is.
Yeah.
People aren't built like that. So it's hard.
So when he first came in, the players were more tougher, as you said, more harder.
But also having a manager like that challenged you.
Yeah.
Imagine you're Drogba and you're Terry and you're Lampard and you Czech and Mourinho's there and he's challenging you. You're like, yeah. Why can't we win the league? Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? And you do it.
And in those times, Chelsea didn't win anything for a long time, like win the league, and then players especially didn't win any big trophies before Mourinho came. But they finished the season when Arsenal won the league.
Second.
You came second.
Second.
And then Mourinho came in, and the whole thing just changed. Like changed the game.
Finishing
Like,
touch, and he was a sink or swim. A lot of players liked it. But
take that invincible team out that season. If we were not in that league that season, Chelsea win the league hands down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be real. They would have won
It was
the
just
league
that
that
kind
season.
of that one final product because that was the last year that Ranieri was there.
Ranieri,
all we needed
yeah.
was that little final push, and that was the manager.
Ranieri was the nearly man at Chelsea. as they say.
He was the nearly.
He got to the semi-final of the Champions League against Monaco.
FA Cup.
I still can't
runner-up.
believe you guys lost to Monaco in the semi-final. You know, when I look back now,
It happens.
But we needed that in order to get Mourinho. We needed that kind of domino effect.
Because Ranieri would have still been there.
Ranieri would have still been
even
there.
if you got to the final, I get played against Mourinho Porto. That would have been a final. Chelsea Porto.
He would have still lost.
Yeah, I think he would have still lost.
Probably.
And then that moment, Rome would have been like, "Who's that? His name's Jose. Yeah, bring him."
Get him.
Yeah.
I want him. Get him. I want him.
Yeah. I mean, this has been fun. I want to end their podcast with a quote by Versus. They said, I'm apologizing in advance. Chelsea might have been dropped by 3, but Eddie found full reception in West London. This has been One Kick from Glory. We're signing out.